Arna when I told her of this awful sight. For it is often paid for only with savagery. But tell me now, Din, have you seen a red rocket in the distance?
I've seen none, Mum.
And Mallow, you've heard no signal from your wardens?
Mallow shook her head.
None yet, so they have not seen the rocket either. Then Thelonai has not yet succeeded. You're sure you'll be able to hear the signal from your wardens once we're inside, Mallow? I could hear that call, said Mallow, insulted, from half a league away. Good, but I may have to slow my step a little. Let us have hope.
The Yarrow soldiers escorted our train of carriages toward the King's Hall. We were met at the base of the stairs by several dozen guards, and there, striding at their head, was Jari Pavatar, himself arrayed in a cuirass, a short sword at his side, and his head bare, but his brow stained indigo as always. I climbed out to meet him.
Do you finally bear our treasure, Pansy-Vala?
Pavatar demanded as he approached.
You've tarried for too many hours when it should have been brought back swiftly.
We have it, sir, I told him, bowing. All royal treasures shall be accounted for. Mallow helped Arna exit the carriage. She turned her blindfolded face upon him and grinned.
Specifically, Jari Pavatar, she said, we shall do so before the eyes of ourselves, the Prince, and Prefecto Cardas. I believe Cardas communicated that to you?
Pavatar stuck his nose in the air.
Do you think us thieves? We suggest nothing, she said. But we know the court has been upended recently by treachery. We prefer our counting done in the sight of all, to ensure that no other treachery occurs. Is that not a safe choice?
His glare lingered on us for a moment, before he waved a hand.
Fine then, bring it in. But know now, I've little patience for you this night.
He grinned his broken, misshapen smile, and gestured at one of the hanging corpses, which twisted in the night breeze.
Dari and his greedy folk are gone, and our tolerance for the Empire is gone with them. If we discover Dari did indeed kill the king, and at your request, the hall may prove a dangerous place for you.
I listened to the creak of the dead man's throat. Noted, sir. The soldiers hoisted the trunks of treasure and bore them up the great stairs of the King's Hall. Pavatar watched, pleased, and his grin vanished when two Yarrow wardens removed the final chest from the litter and bore it inside.
Why does that box stink so?
He demanded.
Why, it contains the body of the man who did so much harm to you, said Arna cheerily. Surely one more corpse will make no difference here, given that you appear to be using them as ornament. But you wish to bring it inside? Asked Pavatar. Indeed. Do you not wish to look upon the face of the man who wounded you? Asked Arna. Come, follow our dead man with us, Jari. I shall have many merry tales about him once we are settled.
We entered the King's Hall, smoky and bright with firelight once more. Many Yarrow women were stationed about it, all small and meagre, and seated before lambskins stretched out upon the floor. The soldiers lowered the chests of treasure before them, and the women opened the chests and began taking heaps of coins and placing them upon the skins, quietly but rapidly counting them out one by one. They only slowed in their counting when the wardens bore Pictus's corpse within the hall, and the reek of his rot filled the room. At the far end of the hall was Prince Cammock, seated atop the throne. He appeared exhausted but relieved, his silver crown on his head and his chain about his neck, his gold-painted face smiling sadly at us as we entered. As always, there was a dimness to his look that suggested he did not entirely comprehend what he was seeing. Beside him stood Prefecto Cardas, clad in his bright white treasury dress, and at the sight of us, he bowed to the prince and paced over to me. "Is all well?" Cardas murmured to me. "For the prince is ecstatic to hear that Dari is slain and the treasure recovered, though it does mean Pavatar's influence here is now strenuous. I dare say you saw the horrors outside. I suppose we must accept these coal for the sake of stability." He trailed off as he spied Arna, who stood next to the body of Pictus. "I say, is that a corpse?"
"It is, sir."
Cardas' face had already been quite grave. It grew graver still as he absorbed this. I knew Delabra was coming, yes," he said, "to explain all that had happened, but why in hell have you brought a damn body with you?" "To explain all that happened, sir," I said, for that was the answer I'd been told to give. Cardas peered at me, mystified, then leaned to Arna and said, "What scheme are you playing, Delabra?"
"The winning one, as always, sir," said Arna, grinning. Cardas shook his head but said nothing. Pavatar swept into the room behind us, his brow bristling, and bent low to whisper into the prince's ear. The prince listened, his rather vapid features fixed in concentration, then nodded and cried, "Immunis Delabra! How pleased I am to find your work done so quickly. We found not only Dari, but this smuggler killer at last." "I have indeed, your majesty," said Arna, grinning. "I have finally found him at the end of all things." We slowly began to take up position in the chamber. Mallow, Cardas and I stood along the wall to the prince's right, while Pavatar and his soldiers stood along the wall on his left. Before the prince stood Arna, bent and blindfolded, and the crate containing Pictus's corpse. Behind her were the trunks of treasures, and the many counting women quietly doing their work. The scene was quite orderly. I could feel nothing but overwhelming attention. I glanced at Mallow and saw that she was watching Arna fixedly, a bead of sweat trapped in her greenish eyebrow. I took a breath and recalled what Arna had told us before we began. "Be still, and move little. Simply let me lay the trap, and we shall see how things proceed." To which Mallow had responded, "And if the trap goes poorly, Mom, then we shall have to improvise," she had said with a shrug. "With sword and bow, perhaps. Be ready." Ready I tried to be, but I could hardly imagine how this night might go. The prince leaned forward, peering at the corpse in the crate. "This is the man who killed my father? How odd it is to finally look upon him now. For he is quite small, and all the evils he wrought so large." "And we still do not know how he killed our king," said Pavatar. "For all we know, this might be the corpse of some unnamed Naukari or imperial indigent, and the Empire simply wishes to claim the deed is done. I still think it was Dari who slipped that poison in." "Ah," said Arna, "a fair point. It is a worthy story, and it is the exact one I wished to tell you, to explain how all this was done to your realm. Yet why would we listen? Demanded Pavitar. His voice grew loud like a canton councilman lecturing before a crowd. It was Dari who planned the most with the Empire, and it was he who stole our fortunes and fled. To any wise eye, it would seem that you Imperials are friends of schemers and knaves. Then Mallow twitched and grasped my arm. She pulled me close, perhaps too quickly for I nearly stumbled to the ground, and whispered into my ear. I hear a whistling outside, many of them very soft. You wardens? I asked. Yes, they have seen the red rocket from Yarrow. All proceeds as planned. I let out a sigh and softly muttered, Praise Sanctum. I stepped closer to Anna and laid a hand on her shoulder. Thelania has succeeded, Mom, I whispered in her ear. The red rocket has taken flight. Ah, whispered Anna. Most excellent, Din. Thank you. I withdrew, my whole body thrumming, and stood beside Mallow to watch the meeting proceed, my hand now much closer to my sword. Cardass bowed to the prince. Majesty, I must protest. Satrap Dari was no friend of the Empire, for he harmed us as well. We know now it was his wickedness that caused the harassment of our shipments and murders of our barge folk, for many Imperial treasures were found among the litter too. Prince Kamak turned to Anna, surprised. Is this so? It is indeed, Anna said brightly. This dead fellow aided Dari in many things, yet he was repaid with only sorrow. Allow me to regale you with his journey, and then grant you a gift that I have prepared for you. Oh, said the prince. What gift? His song. For I have practiced greatly upon the Pythian lyres, as you may soon see, and would much enjoy providing you with music. That should make a fitting end to these sad days, yes? To play a Pythian song before a Yarrow king in celebration of his coronation? He waved to me. I reached into one of the many crates, and produced the twinned lyres, bound up in cloth, and brought them to her. She unwrapped them and played a tune so melodious that some of the guards gasped in surprise. We have minstrels enough, said Pavitar sourly. Ah, but this song shall accomplish something quite startling, Your Majesty, said Anna. One that will astonish even one of your high breeding. A white grin bloomed on her face. It is going to achieve a miracle. A miracle, said the prince. Yes, proclaimed Anna. With this song, I shall make this dead man talk. There was a shocked silence. The soldiers in the back of the chamber muttered as a few of them translated what Anna had just said. Cardass stared at me, his grey face colouring, but I studiously avoided reacting. Mallow hissed to me. What in fuck is she doing? I have no idea, I whispered through clenched teeth, for this mad flourish had not been part of the careful instructions Anna had given us. Pavitar scoffed. What is this foul jest? Do you mock us at such a time? Did you not once declare us thaumaturges and magicians, Dari? Said Anna. I swear to you that it is so. Or would it be acceptable if I asked a favour of you, Your Majesty? She reached into her pocket, and with an artful twist, produced an oath coin, the very one that Dari had given me so many days ago. The prince gazed upon the oath coin. Ah, yes, an unusual request to ask for something so simple in exchange for so valuable a token. But I shall take your coin, Immunis Dolabra, and hear your tale and your music, no matter how odd it may seem. He plucked the oath coin from her fingers and placed it in his pocket. Then he sat upon the throne, with Pavitar sitting on a small stool behind him. Excellent, said Anna, grinning. Fetch me a chair, please, Din, and I shall begin. First of all, Your Majesty, said Anna, sitting, I shall tell you the most startling thing I discovered. For the dead man in the box is actually not Imperial at all. She sat back in her chair, pausing dramatically. Can you guess which land he hailed from so long ago? The prince blinked when he realised Anna would not continue till he guessed. I've no idea. I am little travelled other than in my own lands. Ah, but he is from your own lands, Your Majesty, said Anna. This man is Yarrow, through and through. Is he? Said the prince, interested. It's true, said Anna, yet he comes from broods closer than you may know. For despite his imperial look, this man is actually a child of your dead father, Your Majesty, royal issue of the now fallen King of Yarrow himself. Pavitar, Cardass, and the prince stared at her open-mouthed. Pavitar, said the prince, shaken. Pavitar, surely that isn't... Pavitar swept forward, knelt beside the reeking corpse, and opened the dead man's eyes with his thumb. This cannot be so. This man's eyes are white, and bear only a hint of green, and his teeth are unnaturally white from your accursed magics. And besides, his features are clearly that of the Empire. True, sang Anna. I will grant that the masquerade was quite masterful. What? that of Sunus Pictus. Yet he was your father's child, Prince Cannock, though he left this realm long ago, before his eyes ever gleamed. As for his race, this Pictus, like many true Yarrow souls here, including Dari and yourself, your majesty, had Rattrus blood in him. For many children of the court bear imperial bloods, do they not? Neither the prince nor Pavatar answered, though I sensed this wager. Yet his face in this fellow journey far from here.
That was Choctaw.
Choctaw, yes.
Like the tribe.
Choctaw,